Okay. So I recently got this comment. Let me just pull it up real quick. Okay. So from this commenter, I don't know if you want me to say your name, but by the way, let me just say this real quick. Some big YouTubers, they said, oh, it's not, or some filmmaker or whatever, as soon as you get fans, you start to get more ideas for what you make. And I believe that completely now, because I'm starting to understand it. Because now that I'm getting commenters, it's going to be a lot better because I can come up with my own ideas based on their own apprehensions on this kind of philosophically interesting way of thinking. But let me just, okay. So basically what he said was, I hope you're watching this, okay? Based on from what I gathered, he thinks the idea itself is kind of interesting because of the idea that it's a little bit disappointing that he wouldn't be considered an artist because of his designs and graphic designs. Now, granted, I've never seen them, but from what I've gathered, you seem to be relatively young, or else you wouldn't have watched the video. But let me just say this, there's no such thing as a young artist, and it's not as much about me thinking you're good or not, it's about me thinking, or me knowing, that you're not an artist yet. It's about the title. It's about how big of a title it is. You see, the facts are, we're not artists. I'm not an artist, you're not an artist. It doesn't matter if we're good or not at the particular field or the medium. It's about the fact that we are not emotionally complex enough to even begin to call ourselves anywhere near an artist. And I was happy to hear my brother this morning when we were working out, I'm not an artist yet. Or no, he said, I'm a drawer, because that's what he is. Well, he's a musician currently, but he also wants to get into drawing. So he says, I want to be a drawer. That seems like a loose language and loose grammar even, but that being so, or even that being thought, it's not exactly bad grammar because that's a word. And the point is, he considers himself not an artist because he's not good in the field, sure, but also because he knows he's not an artist yet. Because an artist can encompass so many different fields and mediums, but it's not all of them. So when you're immediately one medium, say, oh, I'm a painter, that doesn't automatically make you an artist. Oh, I'm a graphic designer. Or in your case, you're a 3D creator, or a 3D molder, or whatever it's called, modeling, whatever it's called. You're into 3D modeling and making these beautiful landscapes and all these beautiful sceneries and all that. I understand that. And it's good to be respected as that, which is being good at what you do. That should be able to suffice you for the time being. But ultimately, the goal is to be an artist. And I think that when you have something like that to work up to, that's when you actually start to grow. And I completely respect your thought process on this, and I just hope to change it, kind of. That's kind of the point of this channel. It's to let people know that we're not artists yet, and that title should be reserved for people who are of that ability. Because even if you're good at your trait, you don't have no idea how much better you're going to be in the future. Because it's kind of like an ownership thing, right? So say you're with like a 3 out of 10 girl, but when she's yours and when she's like cuddling you and holding your arm, then she turns into like a 6 in your own head, because it's about ownership. It's about the fact that she's yours and you're hers. It's like that kind of situation where it's like the ownership of something makes it seem better than it actually is. But when you get an actual 7 out of 10, she's way hotter. And then when she's doing the girlfriend stuff, then she turns into like a 12. But it's ownership. The ownership aspect of it makes it seem better. So the fact is, you are a 3D creator. I don't know what exactly you do. You said 3D artist, but I don't know what that encompasses actually, because it's not like the medium itself. So it's 3D. So I'm assuming like 3D modeling. It could be 3D architecture or anything of that spectrum. But basically, we're not artists yet. And it's not about me thinking I'm good or bad. The skill aspect is what you focus on. The emotional aspect is what turns it into art. Because when we're young, we're going to focus on our skills. The emotions part, that comes naturally with age. Because those are the two only aspects to something being art. emotion and skill. We can have the skill thing, just not the emotions yet. So it's about the title. The title is much higher, right? So it's not about, oh, he thinks I'm good, or oh, he thinks I'm bad. Because a lot of the time, they're not good or bad. They're not good. But in your case, if you are good, actually good, you're not an artist yet. You could be the best painter in the world, but you're not an artist yet. To be an artist is to have the emotional complexity and to reflect that within your art. And at our current age, at a younger age, even into your early and late 20s, you don't have the emotional complexity to become that kind of thing. Because you haven't gone through enough. You haven't felt enough pain, sadness, even happiness. You haven't felt enough emotions to correctly convey them into your work. Once you have the skill, then you have the ability to correctly translate it from your head, those emotions from your head into the canvas or into the video or into your 3D rendering. That's the ability. You want to grow that first, and then once you get older, then you're like, oh, I'm having all these cool emotions now, or all these complex emotions. Then once you have those, you can then translate them better with the skill you've grown into whatever you're making. And that's beautiful. And I think that once you start to have a higher sense of the word artist, then you're able to actually grow. Because once you don't see art as something, or an artist, or having made art as a big thing, it becomes a little thing. And once it's a little thing, it's not something to work up to. And that's why people haven't seen themselves improve in art, or in their artistic medium, I would say, in their creative medium. That's when you grow. When you grow is when you realize that art is not just something to be good at. It's something to be. It's something to inspire you and infinitely more people. It's huge. And I know you're probably the only one seeing this because there's one viewer. Or I only have like three or four subscribers. And I get like 0 views a video because I post every day. I think I skipped yesterday, but still. I'm going to post this today. I'm going to post this as soon as possible. And I want you to see this because this is a very... I think it cools down apprehensions about the idea, or at least confusions, which is that, final note, it's not about the title, or it's about the title. It's not about being good or bad. Being good or bad, or being good is the prerequisite. It's just what comes with it. But with time, with wisdom, and with experiences, that's what puts the frosting on the cake. That's what makes the pizza simmer. Let me get one more. That's what makes the toast smell good. I don't fucking know. I lost it. Anyway, but you get the point, right? Plain and simple. It's not about the skill. It's about having the skill and that complex sparkling. What's it called? The salt? The seasoning. But, yeah. Hope that cleared things up. See you, man. Oh.